Hey, what's up everybody? So today's video is going to be about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X/S, and I'm going to be focusing on scalping of these two next-gen consoles. Now, before making this video, I saw an article that said that since the launch of these two consoles, scalpers have made over $60 million, doubling and tripling and selling these consoles at exorbitant prices on sites like eBay and other sites. And this is going to lead to a huge negative effect on the initial launch of the console and probably for the next year or two. And it's not just, people are going to be, paying exorbitant prices and being upset about it. When less people have the console, that means that less games are going to be sold. That means less accessories are going to be sold. Less people are going to be signing up for, some of the online services or buying digital downloads. And a lot of times, when a console is first released, the Sony or Microsoft, they'll sell these consoles at a loss, and they make their money by selling the accessories and the games. And eventually, with what is it called, economies of scale, where after a while you're able to reduce the cost of production, and then there will become a point where the cost will keep going down, and the price, which usually stays the same unless there's like a sale, will converge, and that's when they can start selling the console at a profit. But that usually takes about a year or two. And when you have in one circumstance, such as Japan, where between launch of the PlayStation 5 and December 1st, there was over 213,000 PlayStation 5 sold, but only 63,000 physical games were sold in that same time span. That means that, well, first off, they didn't factor in digital downloads, but a lot of times when people buy a new console, they're not just buying one game. I mean, that's very, very unusual. Like, usually when you buy a new console, you're not buying one or two games. You're buying, two, three, four, five games and probably an extra controller. But with, only 63,000 physical copies of the game being sold, and I know that a lot of the sales of these consoles are of the digital only version. But even still, you would think that with that many consoles sold, it would probably match the amount of games sold, but that's not the case, and that's not good. In the article it says that usually a game console manufacturer wants to have at least one game sold for every console, but this is nowhere near that. So it might be only 20, 30,000 people in the entire country of Japan, which has, I think, 130 million people, that and those only, like, those 20, 30,000 people have the PlayStation 5, or at least in that same time frame. And another thing that you also have to consider is that with a weak console sales and less people having the console, that means that game developers are going to be less likely to want to produce new games or put as much effort and money into next gen games, because not that many people have the platform. There are tons of platforms throughout history that were phenomenal, that they were stellar, but the support and the things that people use them for was just not there. Like, one thing, or one of them, would probably be the Windows Phone, or the Windows Phone platform. Like, I remember when I bought an Alcatel phone, there was like half the apps that I would like use or just assume that would be on any phone weren't even there. So I took the phone back and said, hey, I don't want this. Give me an Android again. But I mean, that's just an example of, yeah, the platform itself might be pretty nice, but then when you have nothing to do with that, I mean, people are not buying 600, or excuse me, $400 to $500 game systems to watch Netflix when most TVs have built-in streaming apps already. So people are buying game systems to play video games, and that's just a fact. And that's why the Xbox One, I feel like, sort of had a rocky start because they focus so heavily on the huge, like the home media experience, when in reality people want to play a game. If I want to watch Netflix, it's a lot easier to press the Netflix button on my TV than it is to turn on the Xbox and then log in and then go to Netflix. Yeah, it's so these are just multiple things that are going to, it's like a domino effect. Bad console sales leads to less games to be developed, and then it leads to people having less interest in wanting to buy the console because they don't see that many games being made for it. And it'll just continue until Sony and Microsoft are able to match production with demand, and also try to make it so more people are able to get the next gen consoles in their hands. You can't have one person buying 100 consoles and then 99 other people or 100 other people don't have the console, because that one person is not going to buy 100 of the games, or 100 of the same game. They're going to sit on those consoles until they're able to sell them. And it might be in some cases where they don't sell them at all because no one wants to pay double or triple the price. I mean, I can definitely afford to pay $1,000 or $2,000 for a console. It's just the principle of the matter. I don't want to pay that much money for a video game console. And that's all I have to say. Hopefully Sony and Microsoft get their stuff together. But if you guys can, please hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Like this video, share it all over the world, and have a nice evening. Peace.